I don't think he cares about kids' sports. He obviously doesn't care about kids' sports the way he's talking about this, as if he does not care about the future of the children he constantly says that he cares about.
No, 9-year-old girls are not getting together and recreationally beating the crap out of each other. That's what 9-year-old boys do.
Yes, they are! Yes, they are! Yes, they are! Yes, they do! And girls do it more violently sometimes. There's literally... It's fine. Hello, YouTube. Welcome to, here's why banning tackle football is a bad idea. I don't know. I wanted to watch a Matt Walsh video on stream because, this man is very profoundly stupid, and, I needed to, I wanted to watch something that's interesting. I just want to know what he says in this video. Not really even sure if this one's going to go up because it is about a topic that I don't even care about. I'm not really a fan of tackle football. I don't watch tackle football for a very specific reason, and that is because I don't like watching people get hurt. That is not a thing I enjoy doing anymore. That's not like, you know, knowing the ramifications of what tackle football does to people makes tackle football not enjoyable to me at all. Knowing the ramifications of what happens to boxers after the match, I can't watch boxing anymore without thinking about all of the horrible things that they are doing to themselves. So I think it would be nice if tackle football wasn't a thing in like high school. That would be cool. We should probably, yeah, I think it would be good to probably not have tackle football in schools. Flag football is supremely, you know, more superior to tackle football because, you know, you can watch your kids play football without, you know, watching them get their skull cracked open before they even get to go to college. So I think that would be cool. Let's see what Matt Walsh has to say. I don't even know how I came up with a position on that, to be honest. I don't know. I didn't even know that I cared about football like that, but let's go.
News report, local news report out of the communist nation of California.
Why would you, why? Don't call California communist. That's, Jesus. Oh my God. American politics, dude. You can literally call anything communist. And people will just agree with you because no one knows what the fuck communism is in this country.
Which is on the way to banning tackle football for children. And
that sounds like that's a good thing. I need to know why this is bad.
I have plenty to say about it, but first let's play the news report. Here's the local ABC affiliate.
For kids under the age of 12, tackle football could soon be a relic of the past in California. It's all thanks to a new bill authored by Sacramento Assemblymember Kevin McCarty that's making its way through the state legislature.
When we look at...
So, here's a thing. I thought tackle football was only, you know, reserved for high school and up. I live in Florida, the hell state. We don't have tackle football in school. We have tackle football in schools? Yeah, no, not in schools. Not for elementary schoolers, right? Not for elementary schooler. That's my roommate. No, we don't have tackle football in schools like that. We have flag football. That's not a it's kind of interesting the fact that there was any state that allowed children below 12 to play tackle football. That's kind of insane.
Kids under the age of 12, tackle football is a high-risk sport.
Dr. Brian Feely is the head of sports medicine at UCSF. He says he supports the bill.
Why are you cutting off the... This is a critique to ABC more than anything. Why are you cutting him off so that you can talk? He's talking. Don't do that. I don't want you to explain. I want him to explain. He's the expert. God damn it.
Because of the elevated risk of concussions that comes with tackle football. Feely says these risks are especially heightened for young kids whose brains are in their most important stages of development.
You're at higher risk for anxiety, depression, suicidal ideation.
Feely says instead
Wow, I had no idea that was a thing. That seems like a, good idea to not let youth tackle each other into the fucking ground. Kind of sounds like a good idea not to let them do that. You know what's even crazier is that when I was playing football as a kid, what we did as kids is two-hand touch football. We did not tackle each other as kids because we didn't have to, and because the adults didn't want to watch us hit our faces on the ground. So we just kind of pushed each other. We weren't allowed to tackle each other, even when we were playing outside of school. And that's like a cultural thing. So like, I'm really confused as to why this would be a bad thing. This is crazy.
Tackle football, flag football is a far safer option. Not everyone agrees with this bill, though. That includes some local coaches here in Oakland who tell me they fear that it will disproportionately impact young kids of color.
We do a lot of low-income families, a lot of families that go through struggles, maybe not have a male figure at home.
Chewy Orr and Damon Gardner are
I'm not sure I like this argument at all. Let me listen to their argument first.
the coaches of youth tackle football team, the Oakland Dynamites. They tell me for teams like theirs, football is more than just a sport. It's a way to teach kids about things like friendship, leadership, and camaraderie. They also say sports besides football also carry the risk of injuries.
You can jump in basketball, you can fall down.
No, stop. No, stop. This is not the same. I'm a volleyball kid, all right? I watched all of my sisters played volleyball. I helped my mom be a volleyball coach. I would have been on a volleyball team if I actually, wanted to, but I didn't. So, but yeah, I was a volleyball kid, and you could get injured in volleyball too. But getting hit in the face with a volleyball is way better than getting tackled into this. There's no argument to this, right? The team would still exist. You would just make it flag football. So I don't even know why the argument is being made at all. That shit doesn't make sense to me, not gonna lie. Your kids can play flag football. That is a recognized thing that we just saw people of color playing. I am a person of color. I played flag football at my very low income school. So I think it would be fine. By the way, we made it. We didn't make it to finals, but we won that last game because of me. Maybe. I don't remember it very well. I was all the way back in 7th grade.
Yeah, got concussion. Look at the pitcher. You playing baseball, they throwing 90 miles per hour at you.
And as for flag football, coaches Chewy and Damon say they don't.
Okay, but how often is it that you get hit in the face with a baseball? Is it very often? Plus, they have the. How often is it in the case that you get hit in the face with a baseball? Yeah, one bad game and future could be ruined. Yeah, I mean, yes, but that's for any sport. One could say that's for any sport, but like football is way more high risk than any of the other sports. I mean, like in tennis, okay? In tennis, what if the balls can go really fast in tennis? I think what are the speeds that can speed tennis balls? Fastest speed a tennis ball reaches in the game. 164 miles per hour. That hits you in the fucking throat, bro. But like, what are the odds of that happening? Come on. That never happens. I'm pretty sure I would know if that's happened, right? Why am I on a different video? I think you would know if that happened, right? So, Football is a high risk sport because the whole point of the game is that you are tackling each other into the ground. Just that in and of itself makes it so that you are going to hit your head way more often than any of these other sports. So, I don't understand the argument being made.
I don't think it's a suitable alternative.
Flag football just doesn't carry enough kids. We have 30 kids. Flag football typically don't have about 15.
Okay,
That's a culture thing. You just have to change it. You just have that's like a culture thing. You just have to, find a way to make kids more interested in it's my flag football team didn't have an issue with that. We had enough kids for a team. And more. I was a bench kid sometimes. So we were good. I mean, some other schools literally had 50 kids in their team. It would be insane. Like, we would sit there and we'd be like, wow, we're literally playing against a whole nother team in the second quarter. Or maybe not 50, maybe 30. It's a football team for schools. It depends on the funding of the school, how many kids they can have, and how many, what the rules allow and whatever. I don't remember that well. I'm not in middle school anymore. I simply work in middle school now.
So maybe it won't surprise you to learn that I hate this idea of banning tackle football. Right. And it's something that you hear.
Because Matt Walsh loves protecting children, and of course that means protecting their right to get their head smashed in a football game.
California obviously is first up to the plate, but it's there's support for it.
I need to speed this up because he talks really slow.
All across the country, and my prediction is if California does it, then a bunch of other states will follow.
Bro, that's a thing in Florida. This is a thing already in Florida. So I don't know what he's complaining about. He loves Florida. He loves Florida. And I'm going to say it again. Kids in school do not play tackle football in the state of Florida. They play flag football in the state of Florida. So the fact that he cares about California so much, this is already a thing in some other states. So I'm pretty sure people that have children and want to protect their children and their futures generally don't want their kid to hit their head on the ground a lot. I think that is a statistic that if you took a study of, you would find that to be the case.
And I think it's terrible. And this probably will surprise you. I actually agree with the claim that those coaches made that this will disproportionately impact minorities. So this is
yes. You believe with that claim because this time the claim looks better for your point because I've seen other Matt Walsh videos. Come on, he doesn't do the whole this will hurt minorities thing in any other case unless it helps his argument. That come on, it's fucking Matt Walsh. We all know this.
This is the one time where I think that argument holds water. And not only holds water, but it's an important argument.
Wow. This is the one time I think it holds water. I wonder why. I wonder why you might think this is the one time where it actually holds water. Whoa, crazy.
Not the most important argument. It's not the first argument to be made, but there is truth to it. So we'll get to that in a moment. But generally, this is a reflection of our feminized society, yet again.
Our feminized society. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Our feminized. So I work at a middle school, like I keep on saying, and I just look the way that I do. I dress normally. Let me show you. This is how I went to school today. I dress like a normal human being. I look the way that I do. I look more feminine, and This is just the way that I look normally, right? I get my nails done, and for some reason, the students, every single one of them, they think I'm gay. That for some reason. Now they're right. I'm a lesbian, but they don't know that. They don't. They don't. That stuff. They don't. It's. Like they just think I'm gay, that I date men. So every day I have to hear, "Oh, how's your boyfriend?" And then I have to tell them I don't date men. I that's not a thing I do. Feminized society. I don't feel feminized society. Feminized fucking society. Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. I see a feminized society, yeah, with all the homophobia in my school. Mm-hmm. Super feminized society. That's great.
It is a very feminine, womanly thing to look at a sport where boys are tackling each other and say, oh, that's too dangerous. That they're going to hurt themselves. We need to get rid of that.
No, I think it's a very sensible thing to look at studies that say that if a kid is hitting their head on the ground at an early age, that they're more likely to be depressed or to have mental illnesses. I think that that's a reasonable thing to believe, actually.
Now, I understand why women feel that way. Like, I don't hold it against women for feeling. My wife feels that way about tackle football for kids at that age, and that's okay. She's a woman. I get it.
Oh, she's a woman. I understand. She's a woman, so obviously she feels that way. No, I think any person that actually cares about the safety of their kid, Matt Walsh, any person that actually cares about the safety of their child, Matt Walsh, come on, you're the but our kids guy. How are you? How are you like this?
That's also why women are not the foremost authorities on what sorts of activities are best for boys, any more than.
No, women are not the foremost authority on what the best games are for boys. You're correct, but it's not because. No, it's because everything has been ruled by men for so long that women never really got the chance. It was the women didn't really ever have. There was no considerate, like, men ruled everything for so. It's fine. It's okay. We can just keep on going.
Men are authorities on what sort of activities are best for girls. So when you're trying to decide if a certain activity is good or appropriate for a boy, a woman should not be the first person that you ask. Now, except the problem is, I know you'll point out, well, the guy that authored this bill is a guy. It wasn't even a woman. True, because we live in this.
So is this video just gonna be Matt Walsh whinging the whole time, just whinging and crying? Just is that it? Like this he's not even really giving me an argument. He's just telling me that we live in a feminized society. One that is just not fucking true. This is just a lie. If I knew how to edit videos, I would have a fucking Matt Walsh lie counter right there, but I don't know how to make videos. This is just a lie. We do not live in a feminized society. That is not the case. I can't even go around looking the way that I do normally without getting called like gay, like without being looked at as like weird for some reason. I just look like a regular person. You look at me. Sure, you might have an issue by just looking at me telling whether I'm a man or a woman. I don't think that matters at all. I'm just a person. I don't have those identifications. If you just look at me, I just look like a regular person. And yet, like, I get called gay, or I get demasculized for some reason all the time, or people. It's like a fucking weird. It's just weird shit. Like, we don't live in a feminine. If we lived in a feminized society, I would be able to walk outside and just like live my life regularly and without anyone commenting on how I looked ever. But that is not the case. This is not at all the case. Instead, I get comments, and then women in general are constantly attacked by men on the like. Moving on. It's fine. We're just
Feminized society, especially in California. So even the men have the mentality of women. I know there are plenty of men who support this. I talked about on Twitter today, there's plenty of men coming out. Well, yeah, it's too dangerous. It's too dangerous for the kids. We can't do that.
We live in a feminized society when my society is fucking 12-year-olds are being goaded on by Matt Walsh and what Andrew Tate. I live in a feminized society when that is the case. Fuck. There we go.
You have the mentality of a woman. You're looking at this like a woman. Saying, well, why can't they just play flag football instead? Well, because flag football is lame. Okay, that's why.
Flag football is not lame, Matt Walsh. It is just as fun as regular football. Parents come out for it just as much. Again, You know, our team wasn't big because I went to a very poor school, but other teams were very large. So, you know, okay. This is just a subjective thing. I don't think he watches kids' sports. I don't think he cares about kids' sports. He obviously doesn't care about kids' sports the way he's talking about this, as if he does not care about the future of the children he constantly says that he cares about.
Because girls can, you know why? You know why we don't have boys play flag football? We let them, because girls can play flag football.
Yes, because girls can also play flag. Yes. Yes, that's... He also doesn't watch girl sports. So it's fine. This video is already...
If you change it to flag football, you're going to lose
long.
half of your participants, like the coaches said, and half of the ones that you end up with will be girls. And it's not a coincidence that, you know, they were showing the footage of the B-roll of kids playing tackle football was all boys, and then they switched over to show B-roll of flag football. It was a bunch of girls, right? So football will go from being a masculine sport.
That is probably because in the state of California, it is probably the case that the flag football is a girls' game and tackle football is a boys' game, which is extremely sexist. Are you telling me you only care about the safety of the girls and not the boys? Or are you telling me that the girls are too pussy to put on some fucking armor and tackle each other? Again, I work at a middle school. The girls at my middle school beat up the boys. It's not like that. It's not. I mean, they beat up each other. Come on. It's a middle school. They can't keep their hands off each other. It's so fucking weird. So odd.
For boys who want to go out there and tackle and be rough, to a fun activity for girls and boys to do together, which is to say it will lose all of its value. And I'm not saying that there's no value in activities for girls and boys to do together. What I'm saying is that football isn't meant to be that sort of activity. And generally organized sports in general are not supposed to be that sort of activity. If you're looking to save money this year but don't want to sacrifice the quality of life,
no, this is great for me because that means I can skip this and
a company that you can be proud of. So here are a few facts. First of all, tackle football for kids is not that dangerous. There is this very womanly panic over tackle football. It's too dangerous. They're hitting each other. It's not that bad, actually, especially for young kids. In fact, for kids in that age range, like the exact age range that they are banning it for, or going to ban it for, it is especially safe at that age range. In fact, football is safer than...
Guys, it's safer for the kids to hit their heads on the ground and against hard hats and shit. It's okay for them to... It's okay for the kids to bang their heads against each other when they're younger. It's fine, actually. It's better for them. It's good for them, actually. Let your kids slam their head on the floor over and over. It's good for them.
And other sports like baseball. Did you know that? Did you know that more kids die from baseball injuries every year than from football injuries under the age of 12? Which in a way is kind of easy to do because like no kids die under the age of 12 from football injuries, but it does happen in baseball. Why is that? Well, because at the age of 8, 9, 10, kids are not strong enough, they're not fast enough, they're not powerful enough to seriously damage each other from running into each other.
So all he has done is giving me an argument for maybe why kids should not be playing baseball too. Maybe I mean, Little League exists, right? So I don't know if kids are dying playing that game. I don't, again, you can die playing any sport. Is it true? No, I'm not gonna do research. I'm sure he doesn't actually do any research. I'm not gonna do research in the middle of a video because that would make the video way too long. But if it's true that more kids die playing baseball than playing tackle football, I think that argument is irrelevant. Because again, every sport has some kind of energy attached to it. But football is a little special because the entire point of the game is you're supposed to be pushing each other onto the ground and tackling each other. And pile-ons are like a thing. And you can maybe say the kids are not strong enough. But are you sure about that? They're kids going against other kids, and again, they're kids. They don't have fully developed brains in their heads until they're 25, right? Do we remember that fact? They don't They don't have fully developed brains. Sure. So any damage that they're getting is going to be more severe than, it's going to affect their growth more than adults who have already. It's fine. It's okay.
You don't see, like, for the most part, these big NFL style hits happening between 9-year-olds on the football field. Now, on the other hand, a line drive to the face can kill you at any age, and it does kill kids. So I mean, that really should be the end of the conversation. It really should be. Baseball is more likely to kill a 10-year-old than football. Just a fact. It is. And I'm not advocating that we ban baseball. Not at all. I'm only trying to make the point here. And also, by the way,
I could be. I don't think this argument really. This only makes his argument a little worse, because now he's just telling me, it doesn't matter what the sport. I don't care about the children's safety. I don't care if the kids are dying. It's fine. I don't care about children's safety. That is what he's saying to me. It's fine. It's whatever.
Because these people are morons, they don't understand that the worst thing you could do is ban tackle football for young ages, but it's still legal because now you're taking kids and they're not going to learn, when they're still young. And
you're right. We shouldn't do it until they're in college. You're correct, Matt Walsh. Thank you for a good argument. No, you're not going to make that one. You're just going to say, well, banning it for the little kids is worse because I don't know. I don't know. Tell me.
Very fast and strong. They're not going to learn how to tackle. And then you bring them into high school, and now they're bigger and much stronger and faster.
You're right. They shouldn't be playing tackle football in high school either. Great. Thank you.
And they've never learned how to tackle, and now you're saying, all right, kids, go crazy. Now you're going to end up with a lot more injuries because of that.
Oh.
Do I tell them to stop doing that? I mean, yeah, sometimes. They do it. My boys tend to in schools, but that's what that's about too. You don't have a choice, okay? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Boys are aggressive. But second, the second point, which I think is the broader point that's important, is that as I've argued,
I lost my place in the video. That's unfortunate.
Many times, society needs to have outlets for male aggression and energy. Okay, society must have outlets for that. And yes, the outlets are going to be violent. And if you have a feminine mentality, you will look at that and say, well, that's not good. It's violent. But what you have to understand is that you don't have a choice. Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Boys are aggressive.
You don't have a choice. Let the boys be boys. Let them be violent. Let them attack each other.
A lot of energy. They are violent. Okay? That's just how boys are. That's natural. And so as a society, you are going to experience that one way or another. It is going to come out one way or another. So do we harness it? Do we use it? Do we direct it towards a goal, which is what sports are all about?
So sports isn't about being violent with each other, though. That's not the point of sports. Yeah, it is an outlet, but it doesn't have to necessarily be outlet, because there are other sports that don't have to do with contact at all. Baseball is not a violent sport, right? That's not. We're not contacting each other in baseball. You're not supposed to we don't contact each other in baseball. We don't contact each other in volleyball. It's not a. Why do the boys have to do violent things? Why does it have to be violent specifically? That's my question, is why do the boys have to be violent with each other? Obviously they don't. Most sports are not contact sports, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, which one are the ones that kids play in high school specifically? This is for what? Up until middle school. So what sports in middle school involve contact? Well, here in Florida, we have flag football in the middle schools, except for private organizations, right? I did a little bit of research, by the way. We do have tackle football. It's in private organizations. The Boys and Girls Club does that. Then we have volleyball. That's not a contact sport. Basketball could be Does it count as are you supposed to contact each other in basketball? I don't really know. I don't watch basketball. Baseball isn't a contact sport. You're not supposed to push each other in baseball. You're supposed to lightly tap them or touch the base or catch a ball. Let's see. What else? Soccer is not a contact sport. At least it's not supposed to be. We see how the people people play soccer. You're not supposed to attack each other. That's not a part of soccer, I don't think. Oh wait, no, wait. Can't you push people in soccer? Okay, let's put soccer into context. So here in middle school, you have soccer and flag football in middle school, and then you have tackle football in private organizations. So tell me, why does it have to be violent? We obviously have a choice. There are the other sports. There are the other ones. And track is not a contact sport. I'm pretty sure you get thrown out if you fight someone in track. Right? So there are obviously other outlets. There are obviously other choices. So why would you say there are no choices? There are. Okay. It's fine.
It's also what about a lot of these playground activities that most of them have been banned too. Of course, they don't play dodgeball or anything like that in schools, but that's what that's about too. It's like, what's dodgeball? It's just take a ball and fling it at your friend as hard as you can and try to hit him.
Dodgeball is not a sport that we play in middle school. And also, dodgeball was a game that we rarely ever played. The school rarely, ever. Dodgeball is a big thing in movies. When I was going to school, dodgeball was not a thing that the school did. Dodgeball was a thing that the kids did. Dodgeball, we might have done it maybe 1 or 2 times a year. That was not a regular thing that we did. And all the time, we always had rules not to hit each other in the head, not to do headshots. If you did a headshot, you were booted out of the game because you're not supposed to hurt each other in dodgeball. You're supposed to tap. The balls are very soft for a
That's the whole fun of dodgeball. And we take all that away. My boys, 10 and 7, they tackle each other all the time. They do it without pads, okay, without the training. They do it in a context that's probably
brothers wrestle each other. Okay, that's fine.
Potentially more dangerous. Do I tell them to stop doing that? I mean, yeah, sometimes if it's an inappropriate context, I don't let them just run rowdy whenever they want. But generally, I don't have a rule that says you can never roughhouse. I don't have that rule. Of course I don't have that rule because they're boys, and this is an important part of being a boy. It's not an important part of being a girl. Okay, girls don't do this. And I'm going to hear from the one.
Girls are very catty with each other and fight with each other all the time. They hit each other all the time. They maybe won't tackle each other, but they definitely are very aggressive with each other all the time, especially at that age, especially at the hormonal age. What do you mean? What, you don't have, does he have a daughter? Does he know? I had 3 sisters. Does he know? Does he know how my sisters were constantly wrestling with each other, actually? I constantly wrestled with my sisters. Does he know?
Parent out of 7 million who says, oh, my girl's very cute. No, 9-year-old girls are not getting together and recreationally beating the crap out of each other. That's what 9-year-old boys do.
Yes, they are! Yes, they are! Yes, they are! Yes, they do! And girls do it more violently sometimes. There's literally... It's fine. It's fine, because girls will literally use weapons on each other. Right, it's fine. It's fine. He doesn't know. He just doesn't know.
And they have that energy. They have that propensity for violence. And football is one way of harnessing it. Tackle football specifically. That's maybe its greatest value, especially for...
Yes, that one. Tackle football specifically. Yes, it's good. You should... Yes. The fact that they're slamming their heads into the ground is the point of football. Yes. That is the goal that we should be going for. Slamming our heads into the ground. Making sure our kids slam their heads into the ground. Yes.
Kids. And yet, one by one, as a society, we are taking away all of the healthy, organized outlets for male aggression. How is that working out? How's it working out? Like, are we ending up with less violence?
It works out here just fine. This doesn't have anything to. Bro, crime is not going to go up just because. Crime is not going to go down because you allowed more boxing into high school. It's just not. That's not how that works. I'm sorry. I apologize to Matt Walsh. This is a bad take. Wow. Okay.
And less aggression in society? No, we're not. We're just ending up with a lot more of it. We're ending up with the kind of violence that doesn't happen on the dodgeball field or a football field.
One thing to mention, by the way. Okay, I don't know if anyone ever notices this because they don't go to like high school games or middle school games. But I am I used to go to my sister's volleyball games when they had them. And parents would come out to those games, but you know what the attitude or the sentiment would usually be when the parents were out at those games? It was, please hurry up and let this game be over so that I can go home and go to sleep because I just came out of work, 8 hours of work, and now I'm here to watch my kid play. And it's for them. It's for them. I'm here for them because I feel like it's them seeing me here makes their site, makes them feel better. But I'm tired and I want to go home. That is literally the sentiment I always see at every single time. Someone always says, I hope this doesn't go to game 5 so we can go home. That's always the thing. So, like, to be honest, no one really likes going to these games. They're already inconvenient to go to anyway. Like, we do it because we love our kids. So I feel like if we love our kids, we should probably not let them die, or like in the baseball games, or maybe like you can change it to kickball. Come on, kickball is such a fun game. It's like kickball is better baseball. Bad take on my part. Kickball is better baseball. It just is. I'm sorry. That's my provision on this. You can switch baseball over to kickball. No one would care. Actually, everyone would love it because kickball is fucking awesome. You ask any adult, you ask any person if they remember playing kickball as a kid. Yeah, they probably care about kickball way more than fucking baseball, not gonna lie. Because baseball is America's most boring goddamn sport. I would say it's golf, but like I watched Birdie wing, and now golf is like, unfortunately, one of my favorite sports to watch.
And that brings us to the point those coaches were making about the disparate impact. And the one time I'll agree with that point because, as they said, young black boys especially need these kinds of outlets. And why do they need it? Well, because many of them don't have fathers at home. And fathers, if you have a father at home who's active and involved, then one of the things a father does is to help a boy understand how to take all that energy and channel it in healthy ways. If you don't have a father, then you don't have that. And that's why, in particular, that's why, in particular, because you don't have a dad at home, you should bash your face in all the time. You should injure yourself in a sport. You should absolutely raise your risk of getting depression and suicidal ideation, because Matt Walsh thinks that you not having a father means that you should be more suicidal or depressed. Boys tackle football is very, very good for them. Even with the dangers and the risks, it's still very good. And on top of that, there's the male role models, the male influences that they get from their coaches. I mean, for a lot of these boys,
you can get that from any sport, though.
Their coach is the only father figure they're ever going to have. And so we should not be doing...
You can get that from any sport, though.
A single thing to try to take that away. We should be encouraging a lot more of it. You go to a place like Oakland, the more of those kids you can get into sports, the better. If every single one of those kids is playing sports, fantastic. You should be open. You should be creating more football leagues, not taking them away.
They're just changing the football leagues. They're not taking them away. You're just switching from one game to another. This doesn't make any sense.
And football is just, there are other sports, of course, that are, perfectly great, healthy outlets for that kind of male energy. Baseball's one of them, basketball. But football is just different. And if you don't watch football, if you haven't played it, you might not really understand this, but it has a difference. It has a like kind of militaristic feel to it. The football players talk about going out and going to war. And I mean, they're not literally going to war, of course, but it just has that kind of feel to it. And that's one of the things that draws young men to it. And it's why it can be an incredibly important outlet and influence for young men, but you know, so we got to take it away. Yeah, the worst thing we do is the young men are not allowed to have anything. They just can't have anything because we look at everything from this pathetic, weak, feminized mentality, and we say that's upsetting.
I don't know, bro. He just says things. He just says things that aren't true, and I don't know. I don't really know what to do. Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, honestly, I actually blanked out for like 30 seconds there because I like everything he said is just like he's just lying.
It's a little too rough. Calm down, kids. Here, take some drugs. We'll drug you instead to calm you down. Hey,
where the fuck did that come from? ADHD. Where's the ADHD hate coming from? Why? Why is he like this? We're not watching your ad. You suck. Oh my god. All right, what did I get from this video? All right, key things. Matt Walsh does not care if banging your head on the floor equals becoming more suicidal and becoming more depressed. Matt Walsh says that he cares about children, but it seems like he doesn't at all. He thinks that all the sports should be as violent as possible, apparently, because boys need to be violent. They have to, because boys are boys and they have to be violent for some reason. Even though we can just like not, we could like it. All right. The ramifications of this are just that whenever Matt Walsh says he cares about children, he's lying to you. If you like this video, like and subscribe. If you got this far in, thank you. Genuinely thank you. Goodbye.